they call the rising sun, and it's been the ruin of many folk. Thank God I know I'm one. My mother was a tailor. She sewed my new blue jeans. My father was a gambling man down in New Orleans. Okay, hold on. This is just the intro. Something, you know. Resident Sleeper. Oh no. No. Alright guys, turning off the stream. We got a Resident Sleeper. You know the stream is going to be bad when the first message is Resident Sleeper. That is not a good sign. Okay guys, now that we're resident sleeping, hope you guys are enjoying your resident naps while you're sleeping. So I'm streaming on YouTube and Twitch. So this is going to be really impersonal. I'm probably not going to be able to connect with anyone in this chat. You guys are going to not understand what's going on. And you're just going to probably tune out after about 5 minutes. But should you choose to stay,
on because my
you're in
computer
for
freezes in that Stormwind place.
an interesting,
For now, I'll have to make a new character until I can get a new computer.
night.
I don't want to play Horde. They all look a bit scary. Yeah, Night Elf
This
might
is
be
my
a
new
good pick.
addiction.
Night Elf
Watching
Hunter. Well, it's
what
either
it's
I
like
do
to
this,
play WoW in
or I
2005
go off to
videos.
Blockbusters and rent a game or a movie.
The
You know what?
really
I
low
might go
quality
later.
gameplay
I know
recording
what to name myself.
really adds to the authenticity. I mean, this is too much editing. That would be
I'll just
fancy
call it
editing
Elf
for the
Jacob
time.
instead.
See, if I were to do this, I wouldn't even zoom in. This guy's editing, it breaks the immersion, I have to say. I mean, nice try.
There we go. Elf
But you know what I
Jacob
mean?
has
Like,
been created.
okay, the quality,
Time to
good
end
job.
the world.
Unregistered hypercam. All right, you can tell you're trying. But this, they would not keep the editing like that the whole time. And I would even add like a shitty I would record through a laptop
Oh, someone messaged me.
microphone.
I wonder who
I
it
could
is.
do that right now. That would be a funny video. Would that not be a funny video? It's like this is playing WoW in 2005, and then
Look at all the trees.
I do like a 240p recording like this.
I've never seen anything
But I also
like it
have really
before.
bad audio, like you can barely hear me.
Thank you. Look at me, I'm shooting arrows.
See, he's like role playing the whole time. He's like, "Look at me, I'm shooting arrows." I think if it
Look at
was
these
me,
orange creatures.
I would pretend like I'm
This
giving
area
a
feels
guide
so magical. I think
from
I
like
it
a
even
teenager's
more than Northshire
point of
Valley.
view,
There's just something
which is what
about
I've done actually with
Yay,
the past
I hit level
video.
2. I'm going to explore for
Hold
a
on, let me
bit.
tweet this stream out. I'll get some tweeters to join, some tweakers to join. We'll get some tweakers to join. I don't even know which one to link rather. Maybe I'll just tweet out live on Twitch, live on YouTube, and on Twitch. We should no cooked salami. I disagree. That's evil, dude. We shouldn't kill anyone. I don't know what to show for the thumbnail here. I think I'll just post the image and then put because if you put the link in the main, no, I'll just put the link. Fuck it. I'll just put Steve-O and then I'll put this. Oh, we got 15 viewers? Damn, what the hell? Yo, YouTube is popping off. Let's see how many viewers I have on Twitch, because I'm also streaming on Twitch, I think. I should be. This whole stream is just going to be me looking at the view count, by the way. And I'm not going to actually like make any content or, show any content. I'm just here to look at the view count. Just look at numbers, basically. Okay, we got a whole 3 viewers on Twitch. That's... Yikes. That's not good. But let me share my channel so that I can get some people from Twitter to join. And then we shall never look at them again. Never look at the numbers again. Hentai better than porn. I have a bloodlust like black metal veins. Are you a Kino viewer? Where's Kino? He's in the other room. Oh my god, are you guys Kino viewers? That's funny. That's probably why you're on YouTube. That makes sense. Kino has a pretty tight YouTube streaming community, actually. He's probably going to walk in any minute now. Should I tune in on Twitch and YouTube? You could do what you want. I don't know why I'm on Twitter. Hold on. My bad. Where was the video I was just watching? That was way better than the stream. Okay.
Wow, this tree is huge.
Okay, but you guys get the idea, right?
Let me jump over.
Laptop recorded microphone.
Will I survive this jump?
Some sort of really bad quality video.
Oh, my stomach's gone all funny.
Was that an MSN sound? That's kind of funny.
Survived. Time to jump down.
I just don't like his commentary. I think it could be better.
Oh, my character did a flip.
I guess the mic isn't great.
Oh, is that a cave?
But it also could be my speakers. I can't tell. It's just a lot of the edit.
Oh,
it's
no,
like half professionally made. That's the problem with these videos. I mean, they're entertaining, but they're not immersive enough. He's also talking too much. I'm sorry. And I would keep it shorter. I would keep, like, how long is this? Okay, that's not bad, but it sounds really long. Or it feels really long. No plans to start an OnlyFans now. Ha 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 ha. Very funny. I do want to record something like that, though. Maybe let me put that on my ideas. I guess I'll put it on my phone for now. And then I'll put it somewhere else. There's like multiple places where I keep video ideas. I mean, mostly in my head, but I like to write them down sometimes. But like, this is just something I would do for fun, Like, this is not a big... I could do this in a day. I mean, not even. I mean, I could do this in like an hour or something. But it would just be funny to do. Maybe more than an hour, because I would need to actually get either gameplay footage or just actually me playing somehow that looks like that. Okay, so I'm going to call this low quality WoW gameplay tutorial. The reason I have this idea is because legitimately my first video that's publicly available to see on YouTube, like the first upload I have, is exactly that. I mean, it was me being genuine, but doing like a gameplay guide type thing. What's your favorite Legend of Zelda game? You know what? Let's take a trip down memory lane. Let's check out Zelda Twilight Princess trailer. I remember the trailer was hype. I remember the trailer being really hype. This is it. I think this is it. I don't know if this is the exact trailer. Oh, it is. This music for sure. It's the feels. I feel like they played it a little too safe with Twilight Princess in some of those. They took some risks aesthetically and gameplay wise that really happened, but it could have been best idea ever. I just came up with the best idea ever. If any representators from Nintendo are listening in, make sure to get this forwarded to Reggie Fils-Aimé as soon as possible, or Bowser, or whoever's in charge right now. It doesn't make a difference to me. Breath of the Wild set in Twilight Princess, or that universe. Link can turn to a wolf. That would be amazing in a Breath of the Wild type game, like sandbox Zelda game. But now Link, and there's a better story. You like build on the Twilight Princess story, but similar theme. I think Nintendo needs to flesh out their stories more. I think Nintendo, at least if they want to keep me interested, either the gameplay has to be like really groundbreaking, which sometimes it is, or the story, I don't mean like the details of the story, but like the themes need to get more ambitious, you know? I don't mean like the dialogue or even necessarily the characters, but, you know, like not even the writing of the plot. I just mean the themes, you know? I guess they're trying to make it darker with Breath of the Wild 2, but yeah. You're playing Breath of the Wild right now? Well, I don't know. Let's see the Breath of the Wild 2 trailer. Isn't there something new that's supposed to come out? Is there a new trailer? I don't really play games, but I do kind of still like culture. It's kind of interesting. And I sometimes get. Nintendo game, I do play it. Like I put a lot of hours into Breath of the Wild, probably like 75 hours or so. Pretty good amount of time. Or maybe it was like 100 hours. I don't know. It was a while. And that was like, yeah, 2017. I got it when it first came out. Where's the... Is this it?
こんにちは。ゼルダの伝説シリーズプロデューサーの青沼です。ゼルダの伝説ブレスオブザワイルド続編の発売時期に関してお知らせがあります。本作は2022年に発売を予定しているとお伝えしていましたが、開発にもう少しお時間をいただきたく、発売を2023年春に変更させていただきたいと思います。楽しみにお待ちいただいている皆様、大変申し訳ありません。続編の舞台は前作ブレスオブザワイルドでの地上フィールドだけでなく、空の上にも広がると前回お伝えしましたが、拡張された世界はそれだけではなく、そこで皆さんを待ち受ける新たな出会いや新たな遊びも前作以上に多彩なものとなっています。そうした続編での体験を特別なものにするべく、開発チーム一同引き続き総力を挙げて取り組んでいきますので、どうか今しばらく。続編の舞台は前作ブレスオブザワイルドでの地上フィールドだけでなく、空の上にも広がると前回お伝えしましたが、拡張された世界はそれだけではなく、そこで皆さん、
is like you can, or one of the, you know, default items or whatever. What are they called? My ex-boyfriend was a Smash player and I left because of the smell. I really appreciate your work. Jesus Christ, that sounds horrifying. Well, I'm glad I hope you made the right decision.
さんを待ち受ける新たな出会いや新たな遊びも 前作以上に多彩なものとなっています。
Looks pretty cool. I don't know. I'm sure it'll be good, but okay, let's listen to this guy explain it. Hey guys. Hey guys. So I looked at this new Zelda trailer, and what I saw was honestly very interesting.
So it happened.
Oh,
What
fuck, he's
Zelda
a
fans
British
feared.
YouTuber. I should have known. It happened. Once again, they've got me.
Many expected, Breath of the Wild's upcoming sequel has been pushed back from the vague 2022 release date given at E3 2021 and is now aiming to release in spring 2023. Obviously, delays are nothing new for the Zelda series, especially the 3D entries, and spring 2023 isn't all too long to wait, so I'm not too upset. The delay was announced by series producer Eiji Aonuma in a clip just over a minute long, where we get another look at some footage from the game. Most is unfortunately just the same trailer from E3 2021, with Link paragliding and skydiving through the floating islands above Hyrule, but we also get this. 2 tiny shots of Link turning towards a mysterious golden glow and pulling the Master Sword.
I think
Which
it's
is
going to be
looking
like a
a
way
little
for him
worse
to
for wear. Worse
fly
even
around.
than it was in its broken state
it's some
following
sort of
the
power
Great
that
Calamity, when it was entrusted to the Great Deku Tree by
warps him
Zelda.
somewhere.
No,
Or
this
something.
time the sword really is broken. Half of the blade is gone. It looks like it's melted. We can see the original silver of the metal, then a yellowish brown, and then a dark blue on the most damaged areas, which looks smooth like
He
liquid.
used the sword
The
to
E3
try to
2021
save-
trailer showed Link's right arm, still holding
Oh my
the
God,
Master
he
Sword,
cut off his
being
fucking arm with
swarmed
the
with
sword.
malice, which many people thought might be showing the destruction of the Blade of Evil's Bane, as we couldn't see it in the rest of the trailer. But here it is. It was Malice that damaged the Master Sword before the Great Calamity, which makes sense as Malice is the energy of Ganon, the direct opposite to the sword's sacred power. So perhaps it was Malice again that damaged it here.
This game is getting
Just
more
before Link
conceptual
draws
in
the
its
blade in the new
bosses. I like that.
footage, it pulses a bright blue. It's possible that this is Fi, the spirit of the Master Sword seen in Skyward Sword, who we know still exists by the time of Breath of the Wild. Both Zelda and Link are able to hear Fi
didn't
at
play
different points,
Skyward Sword.
signaled by the sword glowing and her sound effect playing. In many ways, Fi is the Master Sword, so judging by its damaged state in this shot, it would make sense for her to return and guide Link on a journey that revolves around restoring its power. Fi's glow and this new blue glow do look slightly different, however, so there might be a different reason for this pulsing in the sequel, though how the sword glows when she
isn't
appears
porn?
is
No, it's
somewhat
way better.
inconsistent. In these new shots, we also get a closer look at Link's right arm. Again, this is the
told
same
you.
arm that was attacked by
Listen.
Malice in the previous
He
trailer.
lost his arm. Oh, is that already known?
And for the rest of the time we see it, it's scarred with strange black patterns and covered in gold bands. This is of course
Let's
closely
go.
linked to the mysterious green energy seen in the first and second trailers, and the spectral hand that appears to be sealing Ganondorf's remains
I
in
feel
the
like
cave.
if you were to get
There's a
if I were
shot
to
of
get a
Link's
tattoo,
right arm
I would have to go all the way with it. It can't just be one little design. It would have to be like a whole arm is black. With like, people are gonna get that tattoo though, for sure. They're definitely gonna get it now.
complete with these bracelets,
This is too much
seemingly
food.
absorbing this energy.
Well, I do
We
have
can't
that
say for sure yet, but if
highly
this shot of
entertaining
Malice
stream, so I
covering
guess
Link's arm was enough to break the Master Sword,
is
there's a
comfortable.
good chance that it damaged or corrupted Link in some way too. So perhaps the green energy and these bracelets are meant to heal or repair his arm, or contain the evil energy
Okay, I
that
don't
it
care that much about
absorbs.
the
We
lore,
also
I wanna
get a
know
good
about the
look at the
gameplay.
back of Link's right hand.
Oh my
In the
God.
E3 2021
Okay.
trailer, when Link uses one of the game's new abilities to reverse the momentum of a spiked
Oh.
ball and roll it back up a
What
cliff,
the
we can
fuck?
see his right hand glow with a golden light. Link's no stranger to glowing right hands. Usually this is a clear sign that the person wields the Triforce, or at least a part of it, with Link most commonly holding the Triforce of Courage. But this time, I don't think that's the case. If we zoom into the back of his hand,
Shit.
it appears that the golden light emanates from a different symbol.
dark.
It's somewhat similar to a few different symbols that appear throughout the series, but nothing matches exactly.
It's kind of
the
Easter,
golden
isn't
light
it?
is of course incredibly similar
looks
to the
like-
power of Zelda's bloodline, the sacred power that she managed to unlock on the night of the Calamity, both in colour and the small particles that surround it. This sacred power is assumed to have at least some of its roots in the power of the Triforce, as we can see its silhouette appear just as Zelda seals Dark Beast Ganon. But I think it's perhaps most likely that this hand symbol could relate to the mysterious glyphs found in the green energy in the first trailer, especially because these symbols spiral outwards from the hand wearing the bracelets that Link now does, and we know that Link's new arm can utilize this green energy in some form. These symbols, etched into darkness by the weaving movement of the green energy, have been pored over for countless hours by the entire Zelda community for years, to no major breakthroughs. But as pointed out by Kryes on Twitter, we can see symbols on the ground in the new clips that match the symbols carved into the ground in the shot of Link absorbing the green energy, which could line up with the symbols here too, though it's hard to tell. Perhaps, just like with Breath of the Wild's Sheikah hieroglyphs, we'll be able to fully translate these new glyphs into words and sentences. The golden light from Link's hand seems to
if you guys think about something here, why do games have such a strong culture behind them? There's such a strong culture of people who love games, give value to them, significance to them, are inspired by them. And I think the reason is because the experience of playing a game is a lot more memorable. It's a lot more imprinted on your brain than, say, watching a movie even. Because even with watching a movie where your visual and your auditory senses are, making memories or whatever, being impacted by what you're experiencing, not so much, your smell and touch. You're not really going to remember those things generally. I mean, I guess if you're eating food, it might. Anyways, the point is, games are like something you're interacting with and you're actually actively playing. And so it almost feels like another world, because if it is immersive enough, you're not only are you going to visually and, in terms of what you hear audioly, be there in the game in a way, but you're also going to identify as the character and with the story through a very first-hand way. So I have this crazy theory that because of that, the games that have some of the games that have been, I guess, imprinted into our culture because they were some of the first to do that, are going to last a lot longer than a lot of game series is now. I think Zelda is going to basically last, I don't want to say forever, but it's going to be for as long as the medium of games are as we know them now, like in a somewhat relatable state to where they're in now, which I guess is changing pretty fast. But I think a game like Zelda will forever be like a classic example because it has this strong culture. And there's niche communities for new games, of course, but it's just more niche and smaller than a lot of these old classics. I think Halo is another one. But what I'm getting at, though, is in these games, the games that have a more complicated story or message or symbolism or something, they're almost like the modern day, they're like a new form of media that has a lot of cultural significance, more than movies, I would even say. Does that make sense? They're almost like a modern day Bible in the way that the Bible for its time, or literary works for their time really, were a sort of way to unify cultures that was unprecedented before them. Before stories and the written word, you couldn't unify a culture. But what's crazy about games is that I think they're like the modern version of unifying culture, because the experience they offer is many levels more conscious than just reading. if that makes sense. So they have that much more influence, and by having that much more influence, they have that much more ability to influence people's beliefs ultimately. And some games don't really have much of anything to offer in terms of beliefs, but some of them do, like Halo, Metal Gear Solid. There's some element of that. A lot of people like Deus Ex. People base their whole personalities off of, as crazy as that sounds, I think it's true, off of the games that they they found a lot of truth in. And there is truth in a lot of games too. That's the thing. It's not like they're all fictional nonsense. I mean, there is something to that, you know? Like, let's watch some clips of maybe Metal Gear Solid. Metal Gear Solid 2 clip. You know, let's just see what comes up. I think there's one that everyone knows where it's Raiden and the Colonel, but like this one, yeah, people have seen that one, I'm sure. Well, maybe let's watch this. I think is it just...
For the past 4 years on this channel, I have made videos on various topics, but by far the most popular form of video I have done centers on video game analysis. What I think made them so popular is that instead of being your usual video game review, I have focused primarily on narrative. Specifically, I have focused on what I believe are the best stories in the video game canon. For 20-odd years, video game narratives have been demonstrating a capacity to confuse, entice, and emotionally manipulate their audience in the most positive of ways. Most recently, in fact, I have been putting forth the argument that video game narratives have demonstrated such sufficient profundity that they sometimes have matched the greatest stories told in other mediums. To continue our collective celebration of our modern-day digital mythology, I would finally like to give full attention to a game which, I would argue, has the most profound moment in gaming history. I refer to the final codec conversation from Metal Gear Solid 2. While I have done several videos on Metal Gear Solid 2 in the past, I have never given full analytic attention to this specific moment. The main reason why is because somebody has already done so. My all-time favorite YouTube video is titled The Most Profound Moment in Gaming, MGS2 AI Conversation Analysis. Though it was released almost 9 years ago by its creator, Logo Steve, I pondered for a while how I might do a better job than he did. However, given our current cultural context, I believe I have a few other worthwhile things to contribute. The advent of subjects like fake news, the resurgence of rampant political correctness, and our tendency towards online tribalism has imbued this conversation with a much denser sense of meaning. To those who consider themselves gamers but have never played a Metal Gear Solid game, you are obligated to at least listen to this final conversation. Not only will you be enlightened by its philosophical commentary, but you will be terrified by its implications, as I have been for my entire life.
Raiden, are you receiving? We're still here.
Hold on. Before I get to this, for anyone listening, I'm thinking now, what if I made a video about why gaming culture is so deeply rooted in our society? I know that sounds maybe too vague, but the reason the angle I'm looking at is at the level of experience and why it's a deeper experience than just reading or even watching something or even listening to something. Well, I think listening to something can be tied more to the moment, but I don't know. It's a potential video idea, but maybe it's too vague, and I don't know. I'm not that into gaming anymore, honestly. It's just interesting. But maybe I could relate that to the video and be like, I'm not even into games, but there is still a cultural significance to the games I grew up playing and why I still identify with them on some level. And it's not only because I liked the story or the gameplay or the visual aspect or whatever, but because I was immersed in another world. That's like, that would be like the video essentially. I mean, you know, plus or minus a few more points, but and examples or something. Because it used to be frowned upon to be a gamer, and now it's cool to be one. Well, yeah, but that's kind of a separate point. What does gaming provide for people? Yeah, I think that would be a relevant question to answer in the video. Maybe at the start of the video. Like, what does gaming provide for people? And then go into why does it have such cultural significance? Because it seems to provide a lot to a lot of people. I think that's the answer I would get if I were to, like, somehow, you know, whether it's through some sets of data or gathering my own data and like interviewing people that's how I would do it. I would interview like gamers, you know, people who are very passionate about games or something. I wouldn't only want it to be, you know, just like data or something. What do you guys think about that idea though? I mean, I'll write it down anyways, but I do appreciate feedback. So let me I'll put that down. Wait. Gaming as a cultural. I feel like it's more than that though. It's like it's almost I'm almost equating it to religious texts. See, this is where the video would be interesting, is that's what the Bible, that's what the Iliad, that's what the Odyssey, the Epic of Gilgamesh, that's what those written words did for their cultures at the time as well. Because what they were is this immersive unifying, it's an immersive unifying experience. Gaming as a religious gaming as a new religion, maybe. As a new religion. I'll just put that for now and then put down below the important points, which was what does gaming provide for people? Yeah, that's a good question to start with. Gaming. This could be like a 15-minute video or like 20-minute, you know. This would probably be like a 20-minute video, I think. What does gaming provide? I could make that in like, I mean, definitely in a month. Maybe less, maybe like 3 weeks if I'm really going at it. It really depends on how long the writing takes. I don't think the writing would take very long. I would need to do a little bit of research, but it wouldn't be that bad. What does gaming provide for people? Cultural significance is the next bullet point. The next bullet point is religious texts. One unifying, what did I say? Experience? One unifying experience? Well, yeah, by that I mean like it's an experience, the experience of reading the book or playing the game is something that anyone essentially can do. That's what I mean. Yeah, one unifying experience. That's what that is. Religious implications, I think, is where I would leave the video. So I have what does gaming provide for people, cultural significance of games, history of religious texts, and not just religious texts. I would say, no, actually not religious texts. It would be, it is some religious texts, but it's more than that. It's just mythological texts, I guess. Mythological texts, yeah. Or what we call mythological. It's stories, you know. It's the significance of unifying stories. I think that's a better one, unifying story, but deeper than that, one unifying experience. But experience, you know, yeah. Those things are very closely tied together. I don't know. This might be a stretch. I don't know if YouTube is ready for this video. It's a little out there, but it's about the only thing that I find that I would be motivated to make in terms of a gaming video, and I think I could do this. Yeah, I think I'll look into this. I think this would be a good video. Cultural mythology. Yeah, bring porn and gaming concept together. I don't know how I would type porn into that. I don't think it would be a porn thing. It's based on mythos, not religion. Yeah, well, but if you go deep enough, I think they're both kind of the same thing, and that doesn't mean that they're all made up. In fact, I think it's the truth. I think there is a unifying truth, and that's why I feel like we've fallen out of that. You know, if you look at where we came from, not even in the modern historical record, or even in it, you know, for all the flaws of the world, people were more unified, you could say, through religion. And before religion, I think there was these mythologies that unified people at an even deeper level. And at some point we were all, I think there was more of, not everyone, but I think there was more of a unified civilization globally. Not necessarily through technology in the way that we've made it now, but maybe there was just a harmony to people. You know, it's like, I think nature is a good example to look towards because it's right there in front of us. And if there's a healthy ecosystem in one part of the world, it will closely resemble a healthy ecosystem in another part of the world. I mean, it might look different based on the climate and whatever, or it might have different conditions, but a lot of the same signs of life and of prosperity in the environment, richness in the environment in terms of the amount of life forms there, the amount of nutrients that is absorbed there, you know, all these different factors. I mean, you can just also sense it when you're there. So what I'm trying to say is, you know, just in a way that there can be an abundance of life living in harmony together in nature, the same is possible for humans. But the trick is, I mean, the catch is, the hard part is that we have a choice. And a lot of people choose, and it's not always easy to make things, you know, as they should be. But a lot of people just willingly choose to do the easy way because it's less effort. Not just because it's less effort. Maybe they're afraid of what taking the more difficult path may be. You know, there's different reasons for every person, I think, why they would choose the easy way on certain things. And nobody's perfect. A lot of us choose the easy way with certain things. And, you know, that's part of being human, I guess. But that doesn't mean that there isn't a right way. I filled the gaming void by focusing on my own creativity. That's a good call. The state we're in right now is due to lack of objective morality. Yeah, but I think deeper than that, it's because it's due to a lack of connection. See, I think all of both the good news is that it's all from direct experience. Like on a very real one-to-one level, you can impact the people around you just by showing that you care or genuinely caring and just connecting with people. Because when you do that, they'll be a better person and they'll hopefully do the same for other people. I mean, this is, you know, it sounds like hokey or whatever when you say like that's the solution or whatever, but it's all you can really do as an individual and all you should be worried about doing, because you can't fix every problem in the world. But if you can do it, then anyone can do it. That's like really what it is. It's not like, I mean, you know, fine, like let's just say barring a few like very mentally disabled people, okay? Let's just say that, even though I wouldn't even write them off completely. But even barring that, you know, the vast majority of people I think are capable of doing and achieving the same things. I don't even think that's a very radical viewpoint. But it all comes down to, what people believe, but deeper than that, what they experience. Because what people believe and their view of the world and of themselves, which drives their choices, it doesn't just come from what they believe, because what they believe comes from what they've experienced in life. If somebody was, I don't know, abused all their life, but then, some pastor, let's say, took them under their wing and raised them, and did a good job, they're going to maybe really love that pastor's church, or believe in God, or love organized religion, or whatever. But if they have enough connections in their life, if they're connected enough with other people, they're still making a positive impact on the world, because they've had that good experience. Does that make sense? Of the pastor raising them. So it's all cyclical, and it starts from someone just making the choice to be a better person. I truly believe that, And in that way, I do think individuals are capable of changing the world, but it's not always an overnight thing. It's not always a monetary thing. It's sometimes, it's the unseen battle, or it's just the person who nobody thought of, nobody accounted for, but just made all the difference. That's kind of what the great stories of history are all about, I would say. Okay, let me read the chat here. Path of least resistance, yeah. Are video games the last new medium for art? I think so. Yeah, I think that's kind of what I'm getting at here. Is something like that. Because, okay, you might say, well, what about VR and really accurate simulations? I mean, if you think about it, those are just games, though. I mean, right? Sure, they're just really complicated, immersive games, fine. But the same basic principles are there in a modern day game. I mean, if you're really immersed in a game, you might as well be in another world. The difference is not huge. I mean, obviously you still have access to, you can still talk to people in real life and all that, of course. But I mean, where you are mentally, and your state of mind, and what you're focusing on, and your senses are not that far off. You could imagine it being another world pretty easily, is the point. Video games is the Matrix? Yeah, I mean, essentially, right? But, yeah. I mean, yeah. I was going to say, with some qualification, but, I mean, that is true. I could write that down. Well, I'm viewing this as in terms of its significance spiritually. But I guess that's also the Matrix, isn't it? The Matrix wouldn't work if it didn't have some sort of spiritually fulfilling aspect to it. Now, I think ultimately games are not spiritually fulfilling. If I were to play them all my life, for example, I would think that it's empty and hollow, and I would, I don't think this is necessarily a causal relationship, but I think there's something to the fact that a lot of man-children are obsessed with games, and they act very much like children, maybe I would love it, but I would essentially just be a dumb child, or selfish child at the very least. I wouldn't be a very interesting person, and I wouldn't be a very significant. I probably wouldn't really care for other people that much if I was just immersed in a game forever or whatever, But I guess that's obvious, right? I mean, I hope it's obvious, You'd be surprised. I think there's already plenty of people who, knowingly or not, admittedly or not, would way rather live in the Matrix. And that is truly depressing, because I think a lot of people who are in that state are only a few steps away from really seeing the beauty of the real world. But, you know, again, that's not the path of least resistance. The path of least resistance is sitting in your room on the computer every day. Trust me, I've been there. I find it very interesting that so many people say video games are their favorite way to experience a story. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's why. I don't know what that sound is. You knocked over your piss jug. No, it was a water bottle from this trash can that I should empty out. But yeah. Okay, well, I think I got some good ideas there. I think this might be a video I'll make of it at some point. I'm not sure when. Well, guys, it's been a good stream. I think this is good. Tonight is kind of chill. I don't need to stream for 2 hours every time.